basis where they take their knowledge. But if they're Muslims and they're calling you to do good, they're not calling you to do itham, alhamdulillah, go with them, inshallah. Sometimes you got to go with some people that's available until you get what you really need. So yes, if there are people who are people of khair, people of da'wah, people of ibadah, people who love Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and who love the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, go with them, mashallah. Now if somebody tell you don't go with them because they're mubtadi'een or something like this here, then you got to answer for that person. That's all I can tell you. And let me make this clear again. I didn't say to anybody who to go with. I'm just answering this particular question. That if they're Muslims, they're calling you to khair, to goodness, and maybe they can offer you something that the others who's talking, they don't even offer. If a Muslim offers you good conduct, maybe his knowledge is weak, but he offers you good conduct, what should you do? Go to the man who got bad conduct, whose knowledge is good. So I say that. Go to the people whose knowledge is good, but if his conduct is bad, then who do you go? You go to the people whose conduct is good. Maybe their knowledge is weak. Because there's good in everybody. There's good in all the Muslims. You got to find the good. What do you suggest for a young Muslim on how to overcome shaitan in this kafir part of the world? This is a pretty wide question. Fear Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I gave you the hadith. Ittaqillah, ittaqillah, haythu ma kuntum. Fear Allah wherever you are. And follow up a bad deed with a good deed, and that will wipe it out, and behave well towards people. Fear Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Fear Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and be with those who are true in their words and deeds. Look to the company that you keep. The Prophet ﷺ said, a man will be raised with those whom he loves. And a man can be judged by those whom he loves. So the people that you're with every day, if you call them your friends, your homeboys, those are the people. You can't be too much more than what they are. Obey your parents, obey Allah, obey His Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam, perform your prayer, your obligations, fear Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and have good conduct. You talked about bringing people to the masjid. Is it allowed? Okay, I read that one. Is it important to note that a population of Muslims is growing in prison because prisoners are converting to Islam? Well, we don't go to the prisoners to convert to Islam. I mean, honestly, brothers and sisters, I know that there's a lot of work being done in the prisons. But unfortunately, in America in particular, you got more dawah going on in the prisons than outside the prisons. Now, that doesn't make much sense to me. I don't understand how Muslims is sending books into the masjids, giving dawah in the masjids, I mean in the prisons, but they're not giving dawah outside in the streets. Does that make sense? You wait till somebody go to prison to give dawah? Give dawah to your neighbor before he goes to jail. Give dawah to yourself and your children before you wind up or they wind up in jail. Do good deeds. Teach, preach Islam every day, all day if you have to, wherever you are. Don't wait to go to prison to give dawah. Although prisoners, they deserve dawah also. But I'll be honest with you, I'm not going to spend too much time inside the prison giving dawah. With all the millions of people that's outside the prison, if I give enough dawah outside the prison, less people will go to prison, inshallah. But those who are in prison, they got to give dawah while they're there. And if a person has time, a prison is almost like a hospital. If we go to the hospital and visit sick people, we should also go to the prison and visit the brothers and sisters who even non-Muslims and give dawah in the prisons also. What is death like? I don't know. I didn't die yet. I didn't die yet. Subhanallah. And my lecture wasn't about death. I mean, I can't talk about that, brothers. That's another subject, inshallah. It said, if you love someone, a girl, so much. It's already a problem. I can see right now. I didn't read the whole question, but it's starting out like it's a problem here. Okay, if you love someone, a girl, so much, and you can't get married just yet, and at the same time you want to be a good Muslim and not break the law of Allah, what should you do? Well, first of all, the Prophet ﷺ mentioned that if you're a young man and you can't get married, then you should fast. The other thing is, you shouldn't be around that person who you love so much. That's like being in the kitchen with a chocolate cake that you love so much. And your mother and father, they leave and go to work and leave that cake on the table that you love so much. You know? And you upstairs, and that cake is downstairs on the table that you love so much. And you come downstairs and you look at the cake so much. And you don't cut the cake, you just reach out and just take a little piece of chocolate and put it in there, run back upstairs. Well, once you get that chocolate in your mouth, that's it. Because you're going to like that chocolate cake more than so much. And chances are, by the time your parents get home, there's going to be a slice out of that cake. And that means that you ate a piece of it so much. Well, the same thing happens with girls and boys. If they spend the improper time without supervision against the sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ, and they're allowed to talk to each other on them phones so much, and they're allowed to visit each other and see each other in school and in the streets and on the bus stop and in the cafes so much, then it's not going to take no more than about 6 months to a year before something happens so much. So fear Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and whoever's daughter it is, you need to respect her and leave her alone. You don't even have a right to write to her. You don't have a right to call her on the phone. You don't have a right to do anything more than what one of the companions of the Prophet ﷺ did. Maybe you might could stand down the street when she comes and hide behind a tree and just look at her. That might be allowed for you to do. So stay away from that young lady. Talk to her parents. Talk to your parents. Make some plans. And if you're old enough to adopt responsibility and you got a room in your house, ask your parents to allow you to marry this girl that you love so much, even if you're in school. And it's better for her to be in your room married, and the two of you 15, 16, 17, and for you to love her so much married, than for what may happen if you don't. That's what I can advise you to do. And I mean, that's just being real. Now, if the parents of this young man are here, you should listen and talk to your child and what they're saying here, because they could wind up in a problem. Because it seems to me he might be on the verge of breaking the law. So much. Say, if a Muslim brother is in conflict with a kafir, should the Muslim brother keep engaged in the conflict if the kafir does not stop? Well, what I understand you to say is that you got a beef. That's what you call it in the street, right? You got a beef with a kafir. And the kafir don't seem to want to stop. Seem he want to keep giving up some rhythm. So what you going to do? Crack his head open? Shoot him? Stab him? What you going to do? Avoid him, man. Walk away. Avoid him. Go another way. Tell him, say, man, I don't want no problems. You cool, man. You all right? Everything's all right. Talk your way out of it. You know, it's not being a coward. The Prophet ﷺ told us, the strong person is not the one who's the best wrestler and can throw somebody down. The strong person is the one that can control themselves. So, brother, you Muslim. That person, that kafir, don't have no guidance. They ain't got no tools. They don't have no dignity. They don't have no honor. They don't have no principles. They don't understand. You understand. Invite that non-Muslim to sit down with you and have a cup of tea. Invite that non-Muslim to come to your house. Say, yo, man, I want no problem with you, man. Come to lunch, man. Let me buy you, let me take you to the store, man, and buy you a kafta kebab. Yeah, shish kebab, or what you call it, a donut. Yeah, a donut kebab. So a Muslim had to use his intelligence, brothers. I mean, come on, let's think about it for real. Don't try to be like macho and, you know, like all this here, you know, about how you want to, what you want to do to him. This kafir keep on talking to me. He looking.